So the question arises why there is a difference. So there can be many reasons, but we're going to categorize it that there are three main reasons why the product margin for the two costing systems they differ from one another. So the first reason is that the traditional costing allocates all manufacturing overhead costs to a product. So ABC costing only assigns manufacturing overhead costs consumed by these two products. For example, the design change only belongs to lifelong, not the short start, because short start is standard one and it do not require any design change, so it should not be given any design change cost. But the traditional costing allocates the design cost as well to the short start as well, right? One reason is completed. The next one is, the second reason is that traditional costing allocates all manufacturing overhead costs using a volume related allocation base, right? Whereas ABC costing also uses non-variable related allocation base as well. For example, that the ABC system assign the 60% cost on a batch level, 60% cost to customer orders, right? When we started first stage allocation, right? First stage allocation, 60% belongs to the customer activity cost, right? Plus in some other cases as well, like 0% design changes cost to sure start, but 100% design change cost to long life, right? So in that case, like batch level, product level, unit level, so the ABC costing also implies some non-volume related activities as well. The third reason why the product margin for the two costing systems differ from one another is that the traditional cost disregards selling and administrative expenses because they are assumed to be period cost, right? While the ABC costing, they directly traced shipping cost to the product cost, right? So remember at the start of the product we discussed that ABC also allows some manufacturing and non-manufacturing costs to product cost, right? So this is the proof here. So manufacturing costs include direct material and direct labor and manufacturing overhead. So the direct cost they also include in ABC costing, it is also included the shipping cost as well as a product cost, not a period cost. In traditional costing this is period cost, right? And here now question arises why ABC costing is not used for external reporting, right? If ABC benefits it's so great, then why ABC is not used by companies for external reporting? The first reason is that external reports are less detailed than internal reports, right? For example, External reports only disclose cost of goods sold and ending inventory. Therefore, if some products are undercosted and others are overcosted, the error tends to cancel each other when the product costs are added together, right? The second one is it may be difficult to make changes to company's accounting system. Now that's the problem, because if change is really difficult to implement. If you are already using some other costing methods and you are changing the company's accounting system, switching to one another, it is very difficult. The third one is why ABC is not used for external reporting, because it does not conform with the generally accepted accounting principle, which is not required by law. The fourth one is why it is not used for external reporting, that it involves subjective allocation. Remember, in first stage allocation, there is some kind of percentages that are used to calculate the cost pools, right? So to find out cost pools, the ABC team interviews different kind of departments and they come up with the first stage allocation to find out percentages, and that percentages basically involves subjectiveness. So for example, for you it is 60%. For example, the order cost 60% belong to customers and 20% belong to organization sustainable activity. But for auditor, he may think that for organization sustainable activities it is 60%, not the 20%, right? So that's why auditors, they don't like this kind of subjectiveness. Okay, so there are 5 limitations of activity based costing. Number first is substantial resources are required to implement and maintain. So the thing here is that if the implementation cost is way more than the benefit, then it poses a threat of implementing the ABC. The next one is resistance to unfamiliar numbers and a report, which means the ABC costing produces the concepts or number like product margin, which is very unfamiliar to the manager as well, because traditional costing, it produces numbers such as gross margin, net operating margin, net margin, right? So this have some kind of odd preferences. So that's why. The third one is desire to fully allocate all cost to the product, while the traditional cost, it segregate between manufacturing and non-manufacturing. The ABC implement some parts of manufacturing and some part of non-manufacturing to the product cost. So if you remember from our previous even Baxter battery example, we have counted over there that the product cost includes both the customer related cost as well, also the order cost, order size. Some parts are like in the first stage allocation, we have divided that these costs belongs to 50% to this activity, 20% to this activity, right? So some parts of manufacturing costs and some parts of non-manufacturing costs are included in product cost. The fourth one is potential misinterpretation of unfamiliar numbers. So it's like that the managers are not accustomed to managing their operation using product margin number, right? Because it produces product margin rather than net operating margin. So this underscores the importance of having top management support for and the cross-functional team involvement with the ABC systems. or implementations, right? The last one is that is a natural limitation, that it does not conform with the law, generally accepted accounting principles, right? So then why there is a need of ABC system if it is not required by law and there are like four other limitations? The answer is that most organizations, they use ABC as a supplement rather than replacement of their existing systems. So it means maintaining two cost systems is costlier than maintaining just one system, but it may cause confusion with the set of numbers relied on. So the benefits of having ABC is that you can compare with the traditional costing and with the ABC costing, and you can have a better understanding of your costing systems. Like in our Baxter battery example, according to traditional costing, the long life battery is giving us a profit, but according to ABC, it is giving us a loss, huge loss. So in that case, it helps you or it supplements you to make the decision that which uh, product is more profitable or giving us a huge profit, sorry, product margin, right?